Welcome back to my channel. We're playing Cuphead. I might be a little bit quiet on this one. I'll try my best to provide commentary and not completely awful gameplay, but this is Cuphead. This game is hard as shit. I originally had this on the Xbox One X. It was one of the few reasons why I had the system. I actually debated on getting this on PC, but with other exclusives, like I really like the first 4 Halo games. 5 seems alright, but anyway, there was a few exclusives and it went on sale, and Cuphead was one of the games I got, and then it got ported over to the Switch. This is the Switch version, and then the PS4, and I got the Switch version for Christmas, which is really cool. The physical version, they finally released a physical version late last year, 2022 if you're watching this out of time. But yeah, like the physical version's really cool because it has the Last Course DLC already like in the game. That opening you saw is actually the DLC opening, and what's cool is if you go to options, you actually can select like what title screen you want, which is pretty cool, as well as all the extra effects. I just kind of leave it at default. The color bleeding kind of makes it look like there's more picture degradation, or I don't know, I can't hear myself. Did I pronounce that right? Anyway, yeah, it's just supposed to represent like the picture deteriorating over time, I guess. I don't know, but it looks worse, but worse in a good way, but it can be distracting sometimes for me. I'm going to start a new game, so we'll do that tutorial, that one editor or whatever completely failed at. I don't know how. Watch, I'll fail at it now. I feel like there's good qualities about the 360 / Xbox One controller. Like, the analog sticks had a good position. It was very comfortable for first-person shooters, but one thing that Nintendo and Sony did better with their controller is also make their controller good for 2D games. Like, I have so much respect for anybody at any level who plays Street Fighter with an Xbox controller, because 2D games are so much more difficult, and just playing this on the Switch, like with the Switch Pro controller, has made it easier. Although I will say, the one thing I don't like about the Switch Pro controller that third-party controllers like Hori does better with their D-pad is there's like, you can feel these like partitions or like separations in between each input, so it's really hard to roll the D-pad, and it's almost like you have to let go of one button to push another one. Like, it's just designed almost to just act as 4 separate buttons. There's not a lot of ability to kind of like roll the D-pad like in fighting games and whatnot. But let me shut up, because this is about Cuphead. Alright, this is obviously supposed to represent old ass cartoon. If it was weird how I was stressing over, if I'm pushing the button, that's what you're hearing. I also have these noise canceling headphones on because my Sony ones don't hook up to my TV. Well, actually, these are both Sony. I should be more specific, my Sony PlayStation ones. I'm using like the Wi-Fi, not the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth signal from the TV. And the PlayStation headphones does not pick up on that signal. It's always weird to me that like the licensed PlayStation headphones still need a dongle, especially when I feel like, in my opinion, they did not put enough USB like USB ports like on the system. I was trying to think of the terminology. Of course, when I record, I overthink everything, like the pronunciation of degradation, or something like that, but I can't really hear myself, and now that I'm thinking about it, I'll have to hear somebody else say it because I'm gonna forever question it. So I'm sure after this video I'm gonna Google it so I don't sound like an idiot going further, even though this video is gonna be recorded and held somewhere in somebody's library, I'm sure, to the end of time. So I got that going for me. The truth is, I'm really tired and I'm forcing myself to make a video because I really want to share stuff with you despite my what appears to be a lack of enthusiasm. Wasn't I supposed to play a tutorial? I thought that was required. The loading times are fairly long for this type of game, especially since this is technically on a cartridge. If you're worried about like Cuphead looking worse on the Switch like I was, don't. The Switch does a pretty good job with Cuphead. I mean, it's a pretty simple game, and any graphical flaws are going to be hidden by whatever filters they use to make this game look old. See, I'm like pushing the wrong buttons because I'm forgetting I'm playing a Switch game. That's the problem with going back between consoles too. Besides switching games all the time, yeah, it's difficult to talk during these types of games. These games are easier to like record afterwards. But like what I was trying to say is the Nintendo's consoles still kind of follow like the Japanese button input, where like the circle button on the PlayStation or the A button on a Nintendo console is like your primary OK button, where the cross button or the B button on a Nintendo console is canceled. Some PlayStation games didn't change it, like Metal Gear, but usually when they ship a game over here, for some reason they reversed it. I don't know why they started doing that. There's probably a good reason. I just don't know of it, and I can't stop in the middle of the video to look it up for you. That's just the facts. Alright, I'm gonna do my best attempt to try to play this game without being too terrible, but judging from how I was countering those ghosts, I'm not so sure. But we will find out. I'm setting my timer because I forgot to make sure this video isn't overly long. I'm trying to be more time conscious about things. Like, cause who the fuck wants to listen to me for like a whole hour? God bless whoever watches my Let's Plays. I'm just like, hey, I'm playing a game, I might as well share it. I try to delete all but maybe one just so I have something new on my channel. At first I was like dumping a bunch on them, but I don't know. I don't know why I don't like streaming on Twitch as much. I guess it's because the games that are popular on Twitch aren't the games that I typically want to play. And I'm not really good at games either, so, and obviously my personality isn't catered towards everyone. I'm very dry. I'm not very emotive in my presentation for sure. To me, Cuphead's more like a puzzle game. Yeah, you gotta have reflexes, but also I like learning patterns, I guess. In a weird way, you would think this game would remind you more of Contra, but the bosses, learning the patterns actually reminds me a lot of Donkey Kong Country, which had like very pattern-based bosses, and I love that because it's like a callback to like the 8 and 16-bit generation. But one thing they do in this game sometimes is they switch up the patterns, so that's kind of like a wild card. Okay, didn't do terrible on the first try, except that I was almost dead, but you know, take them victories. That's what I always say, because there's not many of them. Do you get like 2 stars just if you can beat it on normal? I don't know even what simple mode is. I always feel like such a scrub when I pick anything lower than the difficulty level, unless it's like I feel like I absolutely can't get past that part. In this day and age, it's fairly rare. I don't know about Cuphead. Like, I don't know if I can beat this game. I can get to the second world, and I'm still working from there. I won't play the DLC until I finish the main game, because I imagine the DLC is a lot more difficult. What did I get myself into? I feel like the side-scrolling levels a lot of times are a lot harder than the boss levels.
Good day for a swell battle. Here goes.
Why am I fighting this one so early on? That's dumb. I used to love old cartoons like TNT. I think it's like I'm gonna restart this. There's no chance. There's usually like 2 to 3 forms of every boss, and if you're sucking at the first form, then you might as well give it up. I'm not trying to do a perfect run, but I'm trying to be realistic. I need that health for whatever last hurrah these bosses do. This kind of reminds me of that's like my token. If I ever sold merch, I'd have a t-shirt that says this reminds me from that, and then it'll be like ... This reminds me of the club from Who Framed Roger Rabbit that like Jessica Rabbit was performing in with all the cartoon characters. Oh, I pushed the wrong button. I love the creativity that went into this game, but yeah, on TNT, like, I used to go to my grandparents' house, and I guess since they couldn't afford original programming as much at that time, like, they'd just show a shit ton of like old ass cartoons, and I absolutely adored it. And they'd be like from like all eras too, and like all studios, like Tom and Jerry. You'd get like Popeye, you'd get it's Merry Melodies. I think on Nickelodeon it was called Looney Tunes. And then there was one on ABC. I think it was the Bugs Bunny and... No, was it the Tweety and Sylvester show? I don't know. It changed some intros, but it was like... And it was like... Dun, 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 dun. And I think like Bugs and Daffy had like top hats on or something. But I feel like that's from like the 50s or 60s. Looney Tunes doesn't feel the same anymore now that Mel Blanc doesn't voice everything. It's pretty crazy how he like voiced pretty much every character on everything in the Looney Tunes / Merry Melody show. Is like, that's incredible. So to not hear hints of his voice in every single character, it gives it a completely different vibe. Did anybody see that Space Jam movie? I didn't really like the first Space Jam that much. I mean, I liked it enough. Like, if it was on, I'd watch it, but I never like sought out to own it or anything. I'm not like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, this needs a sequel, but you know, tried to give it a chance and I couldn't even finish it. It was so fucking bad. But I haven't seen the original either. Like, let's not kid ourselves. Was the original movie a gem? Like, are we lying to ourselves? I mean, the best part of that movie is like, I think when Bill Murray breaks the fourth wall. Beside that, don't give a shit about the Monster Squad. Even Danny DeVito, he's usually good at voice acting. And I'm trying to think of something something beside the main bad guy and that he voiced in the cartoon cat on Last Action Hero. I love that movie. I don't know why people hate on that movie so much. It's so funny. Cause it's like breaking the fourth wall and like pointing out like every action movie cliche and just celebrating it. I'm playing this game sitting on a wooden floor and my ass is getting numb, and I'm like, how long have I been filming this video for? Because I'm like, it must be boring to watch me die constantly too, but I'm just like, it's something to watch, I guess. And I'm talking to you, so that's something. Whoa, yeah, go right into the coin, Michael. Just do it. Why not? I do like this progress bar. So at least like encourages you that like you've gotten farther in the game. I'll show you where I left off in this version of the game. I don't even know where I left off in the Xbox One version. I feel like it's roughly around the same place, and I need to get back to. It's just between Christmas and now I've just had so many games in my back catalog, as well as like games in general I've always wanted to finish. Like I just finished Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War. Like I finished God of War like early this year, and then or maybe right before, I can't remember exactly, but somewhere near the end of the year or early in the year, because I wanted to get straight to Ragnarok. Because that's another thing I got for Christmas. And then like Red Dead Redemption 2, I think I finished sometime in November. Like I've had that game the first day it came out. I was just so overwhelmed by it. So I'm slowly chipping away at my back catalog and like an idiot, like getting more games and more like shit to finish when I see them and I can get them. And my excuse is I'm preparing for the digital future, but the reality is I just really love games. It's like, to me, it's a different expression of art. That's why I'm so excited about this Last of Us series being successful. Whether I like the Last of Us series or not, if that becomes successful, like that helps video games and stuff become more respected as an art form, yada yada yada, get more people into it. And the more people that are involved in something and get inspired by something and do their own thing, it only can mean good things for people who play games. So even if you don't like something based on a franchise, it's okay to want some things to succeed, because like it helps you out in the long run. Sometimes it might help out your hobby. Like that company that makes the games that you like might get a boost because they see that people are in the game suddenly. So yeah, like I appreciate success in all fronts. The only thing I don't like is one company getting too powerful and making the same types of games, and then other companies can't compete. Hopefully that kind of shit won't happen, but I mean, this is also the real world. Like pretty much almost every worst case scenario in the world has come true at some point. So this is where I left off, so I don't sound like I'm full of shit from the display of piss poor gameplay. So I went back to I was actually waiting in line. So like I finished this whole map, what you have to do in order to go to the next island. If you're shitty at video games, like, and the difficulty scares you, but you really like the art style, don't let the difficulty scare you, because there's a lot of enjoyment to be had just experiencing the game. And I feel like if you want to get better and you're serious about it, you just practice. Like, this game is designed in a way where it's encouraging you to get better. It's trying to show you like different patterns. Like, I'm colorblind, so it's a little bit harder for me to see like the different color things, but there's things you can like parry on and stuff like that. There's power-ups you can get. You save up your coins, you buy more hearts, you level up. There's things to help you. In my opinion, people are gonna tell me I'm wrong, I think this game seems easier than Contra. But not necessarily with the 30 lives code, but like just like vanilla like NES Contra. But yeah, I think this is an awesome game, and if it's cheap and you're curious about it and you're just scared about the difficulty and it's cheap and there's not really a loss, why not check it out? It's like, to me, this is like beyond like a really fun platforming shooter game. This game to me is a work of art. And even if I didn't like this game, or I thought the difficulty was shit, or the gameplay is shit, aesthetically, to me, this game is a work of art. So thank you so much for watching my channel, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you, take care, bye.
If you want to, like, comment, and subscribe! Thanks for watching!